Hi guys, Steve Dennis here, type 2 reversal of diabetes coach. Introduction of myself, what I believe reversing diabetes means, a bit of science behind it, just hopefully some information to help people understand what it is, how you can recover from diabetes, why it's important not to have it. Anyway, so about myself, Steve, in England. In my 20s, I had a hedonistic lifestyle. In the 20s, as a DJ, party DJ, party animal, living in Cyprus at the time, and got quite a lot of alcoholism, no exercise, eating takeaways 3 times a day, living the life as a 20-year-old lad, single lad. Ended up getting really fat. Came back to England. I was going to a gym for about 4 years trying to lose weight. I didn't know what I was doing, wasn't getting anywhere. Did a little bit of this and a little bit of treadmill and a few reps of bench press or the machine press. Then go and sit in the sauna or the jacuzzi and pretend to myself that I'd be sweating it out. Didn't get anywhere for 4 years. Then after that, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the age of 33. So I was quite young to be getting the lifestyle diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Normally it was happening to people in the 50s. It's happening more and more now with younger people. But anyway, 33 back then, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and that struck a chord with me. I remember at the time I was just still a DJ, still fat, still living off takeaways, didn't have an idea of what I needed to do about exercise or nutrition. Told me I was type 2 diabetes, so it struck a nerve in my brain and in my soul, because when I was young, when I was, I don't know, 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old, my nan, who was probably 80 something at the time, she had her feet amputated because she had type 2 diabetes. So when the doctors told me that, it brought back a memory, and it made me think, I'm going to have my feet cut off. I'm going to get my feet amputated. So it struck a chord in me, and it made me say to myself, no, we're not going to have this. We are going to make this happen. We're going to do something about it. So I started studying exercising, reading the magazines and reading some books. There wasn't really much YouTube and stuff going on back then. It's 15, 16 years ago. I started learning on how I needed to exercise and what I needed to eat. But a long story short, I ended up reversing my type 2 diabetes. I lost 4 stone, which is 24 kilos or 50 pounds, 50 odd pounds. I lost 50 pounds in about 6 to 12 months. The doctors took me off the medication, and then I was told that I'd reversed my diabetes. So I think I was one of the first people in the UK to do it back then. Now it's happening a lot more often. But I did it to myself because I had a reason. I didn't want my feet cut off, and it was a life-changing moment. People have life-changing moments. Sometimes they're at the bottom, sometimes they're quite high. Mine was at the bottom there. Reversed my type 2 diabetes. And I then decided I wanted to help other people do that, so I became a personal trainer, changed it from a DJ to a personal trainer, and this is how it changed my life. Then we opened up we started doing it group classes in a church, one-to-one PT in my garden. I ended up with about 190 members in group classes in the church, what we call boot camp in the church. And then we found a venue. We've been there 10 years now, up to 500 members. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of people, not just type 2 diabetes, but pre-diabetes, insulin insensitivity, and to lose weight, which is all part of the same spectrum at different levels. So since then, COVID came along, couldn't do much work. I started doing a bit of motocrossing on the bike and ended up breaking my neck, and a motorbike crash. Broke my neck and I was paralyzed for a little while, and because I couldn't move, lo and behold, the type 2 diabetes came back. So you never reversed. It's managed, but it's never gone forever. It's there. If your lifestyle changes again, if you become lazy or inactive because I couldn't, then it can come back, and it did. And I was back on the tablets again, back on metformin, changed from metformin onto empagliflozin. There's many of different tablets out there the doctors want to give you. After 2 years of recovery, learned how to walk again, then I learned how to swim, then I went back to the gym, started doing some weights. Still can't run because I've got a little bit of nerve damage in my left leg still, but I can do cycling, I can do some stuff at the gym. So back in again now. This has been 2.5 years since the accident. Active again, back to the gym, and 2.5 years later I've reversed the diabetes again, now officially off the medication again. So it can be done. It is hard. You got to have motivation. But what is reversing type 2 diabetes? So it means, for me, getting off the medication. Why make the pharmaceutical companies rich and happy? Because they'll be happy for you to be on these metformin or whatever medication for the rest of your life, because they just keep making money when you don't need to be on it. And also, if you are having a higher blood sugar, as I said, with my nan had her feet amputated. Many people with type 2 diabetes have their feet amputated or limbs amputated. Many people with type 2 diabetes can get glaucoma. You can go blind. I don't know if you know anybody who's blind. Have you ever seen anybody who's blind? It is not something you want to take lightly. Gratitude for having an able body. I've got this gratitude now because I know that I can exercise again, I can walk again, I can swim again, because I wasn't for a while and I couldn't do anything. So just being able to do it, I have gratitude for that. So that's why I like doing it. Exercise. You don't want to be on that medication, let alone other side effects. Bad for your kidneys, bad for your livers. People with high blood sugar have a shorter lifespan. Do you want to live longer, or are you ready to die younger? Do you want to be around for your kids? Do you want to be around for your grandkids? Do you want to live longer and a happier life, or do you want to be a shorter life and probably 10 years of that in a wheelchair because you've got no feet, or maybe even blind? What is it you want? The motivation should be there. But in England especially, the motivation is not there, because you're going to get your medication for free. So it's easy for the doctor to say, here, carry on doing what you're doing, but have this medication. You need to think beyond that. In America, I expect that it will make your insurances go up because you're spending so much money on medication. So it will cost you money as well. Now, so how do we reverse the diabetes or manage it without medication? If you haven't got your medication and you take your blood sugar in the morning, then your blood sugar in millimoles, I'm working, which is, I think, is a UK measurement. In millimoles, if you're not diabetic, it wants to be between 4 and 6 millimoles in the morning, fasted. So if you're waking up and you're taking your blood sugar in the morning and it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 even, up to 15, that's real bad. Anything higher than 15, that's really serious problems for you coming soon. If you're up there, then they start giving you medication which will help your pancreas to make more insulin. Okay, so now your medication is making your pancreas work harder. Okay, this is because you're eating bad food and you've not done any exercise, or the right type of exercise. So that's what's happening with the type 2 diabetes. Now, if you have a blood sugar below 4, then you're going to hypoglycemic. Then it means you're too low. You start getting dizzy, shivering, sweating, fainting. It could be pretty bad, which is something type 1 diabetics can get. Type 2 diabetes, less likely, but it is possible. If you're having too much medication, it could probably make it go too low. But your body, the type 1, it should be able to make the opposite to insulin, which is glucagon, which will help to bring your glucose back up, because your liver can actually make glucose. It's called gluconeogenesis. So if you've got a low blood sugar, it signals to your pancreas to make glucagon. Glucagon then triggers the liver to make glucose, gluconeogenesis. The glucose comes back up to normal, and then you have a stable blood sugar between 4 and 6. So anyway, type 2 diabetics, if it's up there every morning, say it's 7, 8, 9 with your medication, now we still have to do a little bit better. We still have to eat a bit better. We still have to do a bit better with the exercise. And how do we reverse it? So as I said, it's about insulin and then your blood glucose. When you have glucose in your blood, that glucose shouldn't be staying in your blood. If it stays there for too long, that's when you start getting your problems with your limbs and no circulation down there. Your limbs, you have your feet cut off, or sugar behind your eyes corrodes the vessels, the eye vessels and the veins behind your eyes, and that's where you get glaucoma and go blind. So sugar in the blood is not a good thing, and your body knows that. So your body wants to get rid of a high blood sugar, and hopefully in a healthy person, the blood sugar will be transported from your blood into the blood glucose will go into your muscles, and then it's called glycogen. And glycogen is used for energy, for doing your weight training or doing any exercise and hard exercise. So what your ideal world is, you've got a good amount of muscle, with insulin receptors on your muscle, so then the muscle can use the insulin receptors to pull in the glucose from your blood and put it into your muscles as glycogen. Now, the problem with diabetes or pre-diabetes, let's start with pre-diabetes. So before you're on medication, your muscles are losing the insulin receptors. So it's insulin. When you have glucose in your blood, your pancreas makes insulin, and insulin connects to the glucose, and then it's traveling around insulin and glucose together, and then your muscles have insulin receptors. Now the insulin receptors in the muscles, they grab the glucose and they grab the insulin and they pull it into your muscles. That's an ideal world. And if you've been inactive, not doing enough weight training, not got any muscle at all, got too much body fat and eating too many carbohydrates, that insulin signal going on and on and on it becomes annoying, and your muscles turn off insulin receptors. So you have less insulin receptors, so you have less capacity to pull the glucose from your blood into the muscles. So that over time ends up burning out the pancreas, and that's why you need to take tablets to make more insulin to help bring that sugar into your muscles. It's not curing the problem, it's putting a plaster on. So how do we cure the problem? We need to get more insulin receptors on the muscles so we can pull the sugar and the glucose from the blood into the muscles. So we need to get bigger muscles with more insulin receptors, as well as eating less carbohydrates so we have less glucose in the blood in the first place. So this is the thing we do. We eat less carbohydrates, which is bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, cereals, fruit, all sweets and sugars and sodas. And I know I always miss one, like cereals. Did I say that? Porridge, even porridge, you know, it's going to raise your blood sugar because it's a carbohydrate. So your glucose goes up. If you don't eat so many carbs, your glucose doesn't go up. Now you start doing weight training and your muscles start desiring glucose. So your muscles start developing new insulin receptors. So you need to do weight training properly structured by a personal trainer. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to be doing weight training properly, bodybuilding style workouts to build your muscle density, build your muscle size, and convert your fat into muscle, and then your muscle can start absorbing carbohydrates. Then slightly later on, when your blood sugars are lower, you have a free monthly check with a doctor, which is a HbA1c, and that tells you what your average blood sugar is. When you have your HbA1c test, and it's their doctor then says, okay, your blood sugar's been too low for the last 3 months, let's reduce your tablets. And then they could cut your tablets in half. Then you do it again for another 3 months, hopefully, and then they can take you off your tablets. Now you're off your tablets. Now you're surviving reversal of type 2 diabetes. You've reversed it, and you're now managing it with your lifestyle, your exercise and your nutrition. You're not on medication. Okay, and then you keep going. You keep eating healthily, but you start to add the carbohydrates back in around your workouts. When you're doing nice high, you by now you know what you're doing with the weight training, proper bodybuilding workouts, then you can add your carbohydrates and protein together around your workout. So your muscles are, when you've done a workout, your muscles are pumped and ready to absorb the glycogen, glucose, and also the protein. So the glycogen and the glucose and the protein goes into the muscles together after your workout. And we go on and on and on like that, and eventually your muscles are ready, they're all day ready to take in more carbs, and you can eat more carbs again. But it's a long process. It can take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a lifestyle change, but it's a good lifestyle. You get addicted to doing exercise, you get addicted to lovely good food because you learn how to cook nice food. You get off of junk food, you get off of being a lazy bum, you get off of medication, you don't have your feet cut off, you don't go blind, you're around longer for your family. Yeah, it's fucking important. Okay, and this is what I want to help people do. I've done it to myself, I've helped other people, we've helped hundreds of people lose weight, not get diabetes, reverse pre-diabetes, and reverse type 2 diabetes. This is what we help do, and there's a little bit of science behind it. I probably missed a few bits out, so any comments just comment in there or message me, and I'll try to do another video or answer to your comments and your questions. If you're not following already, just please follow along, share this about as that, and yeah, if you want to help to reverse your diabetes, and that's what I do for a living. I'm Steve, the diabetes type 2 reversal coach. Thanks for listening, man. Bye bye.